Welcome to Salad with a Side of Fries. I'm your host, Jen Trepic, talking wellness and weight loss for real life. We're here to clear up the myths, misinformation, bad science, and marketing to teach you how to eat and how to cheat. Are you ready? I'm having salad with a side of fries. This week, we're talking about rucking. I see your face. You're like, what is this?
I have no idea. It sounds like it could be a Beyonce song.
You know what? It might be. Your people can call her people.
Okay,
so
done.
I saw it pop up in a couple of articles as like a new trend in fitness. And I made a note for us to talk about it. So first of all, even rucking as a quote unquote new trend in fitness is essentially like, this is not new. It actually has its roots in like military training. But essentially all it is walking while carrying extra weight.
I feel like I do that anyway.
Right. I mean, it's specifically extra weight on your back.
Got it.
So have you ever heard the phrase like rucksack instead of a backpack?
Not really.
Okay.
Maybe
So,
it's a
I mean,
regional
rucksack
thing.
is another word for a backpack, but it's essentially, right, it came from the concept of rucking, where you're walking carrying a backpack that has extra weight.
So basically a New Yorker.
Right.
Okay.
Right. So proponents of it say that by adding this resistance to your walking, it can do a whole host of extra things. I can't remember where I read this, but I read somewhere that it said that rucking can burn up to 3 times more calories than walking. I don't know how they determined this. I wouldn't put a stake in that. They also claim that it can strengthen your back because potentially maybe even improving posture as it engages your upper back and your shoulders too. Now, some people also say that there's benefit of running with the weighted pack to increase the intensity. And this is where I end up with a lot of mixed thoughts. So as a general concept, I like rucking, right? I think it can be a great way to level up your walk if you want to. I feel like this is also like drama and fitness culture commandeering walking and making people feel like, you know, walking on its own or without extra weight isn't enough or isn't okay. It is. Full stop, it is. The other thing is, if you're going to do this, you want to make sure that the amount of weight you're using, you can support. Just like anything, right? Going too heavy too quickly, as with any sort of fitness, can create injury. I think be aware of the terrain that you're walking on as well is really important. You know, also making sure that it's where it's sitting on your body and on your back is really important. So a lot of times people who do this, they'll do it with a weighted vest or the backpack has a waist strap. That is really helpful to make sure that it is sitting properly and that you're carrying it properly, which is where it's different than us New Yorkers carrying a giant heavy bag or when you're walking through an airport carrying a bunch of stuff. And like I was saying, be aware of the terrain that you're walking on too. So you may not want to do, you know, a steep incline. You know, certainly I wouldn't push yourself till you're comfortable. So for me, my preferred way to do this is with the vest. I think it's the easiest way to make sure that it's sitting well, that it's tight to your body, that it really is on your back and your core rather than, you know, unnecessarily adding weight to your shoulders or your neck. Or if you have joint pain or bone pain, I wouldn't necessarily recommend this. You know, this is also, remember with rucking, the weight is on your back. So this is not the same as hand weights or wrist weights or ankle weights that keep the extra resistance further from the core. That can actually make us potentially more prone to injury. So I know someone actually, this was probably like 10 years ago, they were walking on a treadmill on an incline and had light weights in their hands, and she hurt her back. It turned out to be like a very long predicament, pain meds, ended up having back surgery to resolve the issue. So it's part of why I wanted to talk about rucking. So while adding a backpack with some weights to your walk may support core strength, it also requires additional equipment than walking and increased awareness of how you're feeling and how much weight you're carrying and how it's sitting on your back, the terrain you're walking on. So it's not quite as simple as just throwing the backpack on your back. With that said, yes, it is simple. Anyone can really do this. And for some people, it helps us get outside for an activity. Movement is great for physical and mental health. I just encourage everybody that if you want to try this, do so with awareness, because I think the most frustrating thing is to end up injured. So there you have it. That's the deal with rucking. As always, everybody, I'm your host, Jen Trepeck. Connect with me on Instagram or all social media. I'm at Jen Trepeck, JENNTREPECK. Website is asaladwithasideoffries.com. Pick your platform, send a message. I want to hear from you. Tell me your takeaways, your ideas, your questions, whatever you want to share. I can't wait to hear. And this is also the easiest way to learn more about working with me as your health coach. And of course, if you are not already, join our membership program by going to glow.fm/salad with a side of fries. This shows your support for this podcast, this community, and most importantly, your health. You'll get this week's recipe for the sweet potato turkey meatloaf and the download of my Bullseye of Change framework, a great companion for this week's episode. Well, friends, that's it for today's episode of Salad with a Side of Fries. Congratulations for making yourself and your health a priority. Thanks so much for joining us. Be sure to click subscribe or follow on your favorite podcast platform. Share us with a friend, and we'll be back next week. Always remember, you deserve it, and you are worth it. Happy healthy.